international event, European star Patrick Sniers from Belgium was hoping to teach young McRae a thing or two. Meanwhile, the Irish duo of David Greer and Frank Marr in their two-wheel drive Ford Sierras seemed to be playing a game all of their own. Greer performed all sorts of heroics, but went out with engine problems. And Marr was trying to follow him out of the event. So popular is the Manx that tourists forsake the usual attractions of the island to get on the buses and see the action, all secretly hoping to see this sort of activity.
Absolute right of a jump, 200.
We've also looked at quite a few classic cars. I've been beating my drum, telling you that the market is at its lowest ebb and that there's no better time to buy, while Nicky Fox and Chris Goffey looked at a couple of favourites.
The Standard Vanguard, or Beetleback as it became known after its launch in 1947, was in fact named after His Majesty's finest. In 1798, at the Battle of the Nile, Nelson's flag was carried by the fifth in a line of HMS Vanguards. In 1944, the 9th man of war bearing the name was launched by Princess Margaret. Just a few years later, this illustrious name took to the streets, with a standard badge up for it, to create a one-model policy for years to come.
People see us everywhere. They think you really care. But myself I can't deceive. I know it's only make-believe.
If Gary Glitter was a car, this is what he'd look like. It's the epitome of an aging rocker's wheels. It's the quintessence of jukebox styling, the peak of the fashion for all things American. It's the Vauxhall PA Cresta.
It could be argued that during the 20s and 30s, Britain's most successful car was the Austin 7. Between 1922 and 1939, almost 300,000 examples of the baby Austin left the Longbridge factory.
Just walking in the rain.
In the early post-war years, people kept saying, if only Austin would make a 7 again. Well, in 1951 they did, and they called it the A30, the figure 30 relating roughly to the horsepower available from the 803cc unit, the first of the A-series engines. This new 7 gave 50 to the gallon and had a subsonic top whack of 60 miles an hour. Austin's dinky toy again became the nation's favourite. Then, perhaps with the Mini more than just a twinkle in Austin's eye, the 7 title was dropped, and a more powerful 948 model with a bigger back window was unleashed on the public.
Typically enough, when we asked Jeremy what sort of classic car he wanted to test, he plumped for something altogether more dictatorial and came up with cars that once belonged to Mussolini and Hitler.
So what's the worst job you've ever had? Well, I reckon it isn't half as bad as the poor old soul who had to drive this, because not only is it very difficult, the steering's unbelievably heavy and the gearbox redefines the concept of recalcitrance. Not only that, if you did get it wrong, well, old, well, what's-his-face sitting there wasn't exactly famed for his tolerance, was he? Now, you might imagine the chauffeur drove slowly because he was frightened, but this is only the half of it. Bringing it to a halt from anything above 5 mph is a nightmare. But then, if it did have proper brakes, Hitler would not have been able to keep his balance while standing on the seat. He refused to stand on the floor because he said it made him look tiny. Mind you, anyone looks tiny in this, even when they're 6'5" with a hairdo to match.
Unsere beiden Schatten sahen wie ein an, dass wir lieb uns hatten, das sah man gleich daran. Und alle Leute sollen es
This is a bit of a squeeze. Right. Oh. Hold on. Reverse. This is Italian, of course. 67 reverse gears. I think I found a forwards one now. Joking aside, this is a wonderful looking car. Its Pininfarina styled curves are every bit as lovely as Il Duce's rather more contemporary granddaughter. Mussolini always maintained that you should always keep your heart a desert, but obviously he didn't apply that philosophy to his garage. Now, I get a lot of criticism on Top Gear for only liking the faster cars, and it simply isn't true. I mean, okay, I like the Cosworth here, and the Aston Martin Vantage, and the Viper, and yeah, all right, so it is true. So let's have another look at them, shall we?
After all the jets are in the boxes, and the clowns have all gone to bed, you can hear happiness staggering on down the street. Footprints dressed in red, and the wind whispers Mary. A broom is drearily sweeping up the broken pieces of yesterday's life. Somewhere a queen is weeping. Somewhere a king has no wife. The wind, it cries very.
Being an athletic racing driver sort of person beat me to the XJ220, but there was one other car. Well, not so much a car, but fast. Oh yes. First yellow one, 8 more inches. Second yellow one, build up the power and go. Right, we're ahead of the Corvette at the moment. 60 miles an hour, 65, change gear, 70. He's gone past me. Oh, God. 85, 90, 95, and we're across. That Corvette seriously shifts.
You wouldn't know a good second-hand car if it ran over you. You never open a bonnet, you never look at an engine.
Quentin, be quiet for the rest of your life. The reason why I don't have to get the bonnet up on a car like this is because I know exactly what is going on under there, okay? So enough of the horsing around. One last message. Have an absolutely terrific Christmas. But don't, whatever you do, drink and drive.
And that way you'll still be there when we come back in February.